Did you have a good birthday, Mr. Spammals?
Oh, mate, I was on holiday, so I came back, I went straight to work. I had no time to plan anything. It was just going to be a normal day. But chat was super lovely and generous, and they made it a super special day, and I felt very spoiled by the end of it. It was lovely.
You got to go to the doctors. Is that all you're on about?
Yeah,
A magical day up to the
trip.
doctors. It poked my legs a little bit, gave me some toys.
Oh, a lovely little birthday treat.
I told him to ask for a lollipop and tell him it was his birthday.
Oh my God. You should have.
Poked my legs and gave me some toys. What type of doctor did you go to?
Oh, my new keyboard. God, have you seen my new keyboard?
No.
Oh, have you got a clicky
Prettiest-
clack?
Mate, you're not ready for the sound this keyboard makes.
There's a whole saga behind this keyboard as well.
I'm excited.
So I have spent months researching the perfect keyboard to scratch my goblin brain. I wanted to treat myself to a new one. I wanted a smaller one. I wanted a wireless one, something that I can easily put on my lap so I can play like I do on controller. Found this account on Instagram and was like, can't really research this. Gonna have to take a gamble. Loads of followers, no one in the comments like piping up. Looked pretty good. Ordered it. They don't ship to the UK. Had to send it to Shira via Sweden to get it shipped to the UK.
She-Ra the warrior goddess? Or no?
Shira the warrior goddess. One of the
She-Ra.
moderators. When it turned up at hers, I was like, can you please check that I've not just spent £150 on bricks in case I've been scammed? And during this time, it had also gone back to the place that it was shipped from because they'd left the battery in it and it couldn't leave the country with the batteries in it.
Was that Eternia, Joe? Was it?
But there is the video. Sound on. Enjoy the goblin brain
Ooh.
scratching sounds.
Oh, that's a keyboard. There's no gaps. It's very, very compact, isn't it? Very compact. Keyboard.
It's a
What's the
very
matter, Roy?
satisfying sound.
Right. And that was the main part of the research was I need a keyboard that sounds good.
Feels like you're like tapping your new nails on a hollow skull, and I love it.
My nail tech called it
That wasn't
potato rain.
That wasn't sinister at all, did it? When I'm tapping my nails on a hollow skull.
That's my Thursday completion noise.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, when Danny is announced as the new Trey guard in Nightmare, enter stranger, and she's just sat there with a skull on her lap going, fuck you, Pickle. In fact, it's Pickle's skull.
His Pickle, yes. Death to Pickle.
Pickle's, where's Pickle? He's dead now.
Take this knapsack and go on a 2D adventure. Be gone.
Yes. You went sidestep to the left. Yes, you died. Sorry.
I want one of Joe's pepperoni slices.
Mate, there is so much pepperoni.
I'm exceedingly jealous of the bread to sausage ratio.
Right. Thing is, I genuinely would have let
Perfect.
the single pepperoni slide, but vegan cheese is shite. And
Yeah,
I don't
fair.
want it on my pizza.
It's just bad cheese.
It's just imagine that scene in Indiana Jones. Bad cheese. There's a dead monkey there.
So we were having a big talk earlier about all the things you could take out of this game in order to kind of give it a good old spring clean, maybe free up memory, or maybe even make it perform a bit better.
Okay, good question.
All the Portal Rocks, they can go. Sunken Kingdom can go. There's too much trash treasure. The generous gifts can go
Trash.
away.
Don't
Trash.
talk about gods like that.
We don't need 3 different Kraken eyes in a jar. Just have one, please. Ship captains' logbooks can go. Tridents can go. Harpoons can go.
Basically, you're going to have the sea left.
Yes, that'd be grand.
Have fun.
Don't do that, Joe. That might get you blocked on Twitter if you make that joke. So
What if we
don't
delete
make
the
that
sea?
joke.
What if we delete the sea and just make it Desert of Thieves?
I like having variety of treasure, but we don't need that really weird bronze cup. That's worth £1.50.
When I made that joke, I said that safer seas means no thieves. And dive to means there's no sea. So Sea of Thieves should just be renamed to OV, because that's all it was. Post diving and safer seas. That's all it is. That's all you have to do.
Just pirate Uber.
I still stand by that this game could be split into. I think it already is split into 4 games, and none of the other bits of the game rely on the other bits of the game. So you've got Safer Seas, Hourglass, Adventure, and Tall Tales, and they could all run independently of each other in the barn at Rare. You know, they'd obviously have to get rid of that massive lamp eye that they've got set up in there. But yeah, it could happen. It could happen.
I'd still be in favor of moving all Tall Tales to an instanced experience, like, Pirates Life 1 and 3. Get them out of the overworlds.
I call it the bin.
I like Tall Tales. They're great.
I can't remember who was talking about it today. Like, why can't some of those instances be used for hourglass fights?
You're now one step away from Arena.
No,
It's Arena with extra steps in it.
Hourglass at the scrum bar. Let's do it.
Let's put everyone that wants to do Hourglass into the same server. Just 6 Hourglass ships.
Listen, it can be done with Tall Tales. It can be done with an adventure. Why can't it be done with Hourglass?
Monkey Island Hourglass has to be a thing.
Oh, can you imagine Hourglassing to that theme tune?
Every minute, do Hourglass rep from Insult Sword Fighting. Oh my god, I can't think of anything worse.
That's a completion noise I could live for.
I'd throw my controller through my monitor, honestly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do like Flat Cannon, enjoy it, because maybe someone on this crew announced that there's things happening on Monday, which means I don't think Flat Cannon's going to be a thing for very much longer.
Spammals, stop announcing things like that.
I didn't announce anything. I did Flat Cannon on stream and I was enjoying it.
That was cursed last night, honestly.
It was me, Spammals. I did the announcement. That is literally my job.
Oh, there's an announcement, is there? Oh,
there's a whole fix on Monday.
There's hot patch Monday morning.
Goss was alluding to Joe the whole time.
Sorry, just one of us.
Partner, everyone.
I'd say one of us pays attention to the sub Discord, and it isn't the partner.
I did it yesterday on stream, and I heard lots of rumors that anyone who got in it got like an accidental ban. So I was too scared to get in it, so I brought my old account online to get in as like a sacrificial lamb. Get in the cannon! And it was glorious.
No, yeah, don't change the game physics bug though, because that is amazingly funny and I enjoy it. I still want to be able to turn in the air. I think it's a practical. I don't see any problem with it. I think it's making mischief.
Making mischief.
Unfortunately, that was 2 seasons ago, so
it's kind of back with this one because it's kind of forcing tuck plays.
Whoa, Joe, are you saying that Rare doesn't revisit old content in Sea of Thieves?
No mischief for you. That is not season 16 mischief. That's not season 14 mischief. You're making season 16 mischief.
Hashtag confirmed.
So before we went live today, there was a live kind of meeting happening from the White House. Elon Musk is giving his goodbye speech because he's leaving. His time with Doge has come to an end. And Trump gifted him this kind of key. He didn't say what the key was for. I think it's like the key for the city or the key to the White House. But it's one of those novelty oversized keys.
It's a key to his heart. Oh,
it's a key to
you old Rannick.
It's a key to the only and last Toys R Us in existence.
Oh, don't!
I want the key to the last Blockbusters.
Right, like the Toys R Us in Milton Keynes is still there. It's just like derelict, and they're about to knock down the Toys R Us in Southampton, which again has been derelict for like 10 years.
Has it still got Jeffrey on the front?
I heard they're coming back.
They are back. They're in WH Smith as concessions. It's really sad. If you find a big WH Smith before it changes name, because obviously WH Smith
they'll have a Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I want my pick and mix.
Jones or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, there's Toys R Us in those stores.
But I want my pick and mix. I don't want a Toys R Us.
Joe, have you not heard about this with WH Smiths?
No.
So they sold off the majority of the WH Smiths brand, apart from the airport stuff. That's staying the same. But the high street stuff that you know of, that's ending. They wanted to rename it, but they wanted it to maintain that kind of like common name sound. So they chose like the most common, like the second most common name after Smith. And that, I think it was Jones. So they're calling it like a JG Jones instead of a WH Smiths.
What? Why?
Because I think WH Smiths in the airports are retaining that brand, so therefore these other ones can't keep using it.
The airports and the train stations stay. Everything else has been sold. And I think
they'll charge you £8 for a bottle of water.
It is a kind of weird thing when a bottle of water costs 50% a pack of cigarettes.
I still don't know what they're going to sell at this JG Jones or whatever.
In the same way that McColl's and Menzies went bust, I give it a year. Yeah. That brand dies.
They've not adapted, that's the thing.
The thing is, WH Smiths is 100% like the old school like meta. They were really popular. They sprung loads of brick and mortar stores up that were quite large. And then that business died. And now you got all these big buildings with nothing to sell.
It didn't evolve, which is wild because the stationery industry is massive. Bullet journaling and things like that has blown up in the last few years. But unless you're going to keep up with the Korean, Japanese markets, you're not going to make a dent. Like, you can't just keep selling Parker pens and pencils with a rubber on the top.
Listen, you've been getting a free Parker pen with the Reader's Digest for 35 years now. Everyone's fucking got one.
Get my subscriptions Nintendo Power.
Danny, my next version of the Parker pen will be from the Sun Life Over 50 plan. It's like I'm looking forward to the charming pen. There will be no
charming
medical.
pen.
Isn't
There
that
will
what
be
you
no
like? You
medical
sell them your
price.
house, you continue living in it, and you get all the money.
No, it's
And I shall
You
use
get
my Parker pen to sign for a stair lift.
and a £10 M&S voucher. Come on. I mean, Menzies did it well because John Menzies used to be like another famous chain of newsagent stroke WH Smith type business, and they're now just purely newspaper and magazine distribution because that's where they were making money. So they just closed all the shops, all of them.
I don't even like the newspapers. I read it on my phone. Who buys physical newspapers anymore, really?
Old people.
Yeah, but old people are dying off every single day. Like, that's not a business with a future.
Hence why WH Smith on the high street makes no money.
Yeah.
Spammals' quotation about the bleakness of existence. Old people are dying every day.
Well, no, but we're seeing like
Yes.
the BBC are now finally discussing the idea about becoming a subscription service because their old generations are dying off, and the kids, well, not even kids, my generation, our generation, we're like, fuck you, we're not
If
buying
we're not
a TV
paying
license.
a TV license, we're not going to pay a fucking subscription. Like, that's a terrible idea. The TV license is like 150 quid a year. We're not going to pay them a subscription.
They're modernizing way too late, and we've let all these other companies.
BBC's time will come. Like,
I only use the BBC for radio. I don't watch TV. So
no,
like,
I don't use
it's
it for
just-
anything.
the only thing I listen to is, like, on the radio, I listen to BBC Radio 5 Live, and that's it.
Oh, the cost
Because
cutting
it's-
has begun. You know, Lorraine Kelly, her 1 hour show's been cut to half an hour.
That's ITV.
Oh, is that ITV?
Yeah, she's
Oh.
not on BBC anymore,
Well,
is she?
they're in the same boat. You know, the whole TV industry is losing freaking money. BBC, ITV, yeah.
Oh, Schick saying there's an investigation into him. He hasn't paid his TV license. Naughty Schick. That detective van will be round from 1978.
They
Be
literally send
careful.
you a letter, though, going, are you paying it? Are you watching anything? And you can go, I'm not paying it. I'm not watching anything.
And they're like, our enforcement officers are operating in your area.
They're like, oh, we might come around and check. Okay. That doesn't change the fact that I don't use any of your services.
They use scaremongering and alarmist kind of language to kind of bully you into going, oh, okay.
Yeah.
My mum and my dad still buy a TV license, but I won't in the future. So Ryan Reynolds, our beloved Deadpool, he's tried pitching to Disney the idea of doing an R-rated Star Wars. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I like the idea of having like a more darker Star Wars.
Isn't Andor a bit dark at times?
Andor does have some darker episodes, and there was supposed to be like a horror episode involving a robot. No spoilers there, but it didn't happen.
That's why there's no spoilers, chat.
To quote Ryan Reynolds, he said, I pitched to Disney, I said, why don't we do an R-rated Star Wars property? It doesn't have to be overt A-plus characters. There's a wild range of characters you could use, and I don't mean R-rated to be vulgar. R-rated as a Trojan horse for emotion. I always wonder why studios don't want to just gamble on something like that. I'm not saying I want to be in it. I want to produce it and write it and be a part of behind the scenes. These kind of IPs subside really well on scarcity and surprise. We don't get scarcity really with Star Wars because of Disney Plus, but you can certainly still surprise people.
I don't think it would, though. That's the thing. I was trying to think how to collect my thoughts without just being like, no. But when you look at some of the successes within TV shows, Game of Thrones, the latest couple of seasons notwithstanding, but Game of Thrones, Fallout, those R-rated TV shows do very well. I don't think it needs to be a film. I don't think there's necessarily a space for that because I think that going to the cinema for Star Wars is very much an established family event. I think there's definitely space to explore those themes and like age ratings within a show, though.
I would agree.
I feel like there's so much Star Wars media already out there to then introduce an R-rated one. It might create it might set a precedent saying, well, this one did it, so why can't these other ones be like it? It might bring unbalance to the Force.
Well, maybe the Force has become a little bit too complacent with the balance and needs a bit of a shake-up, you know?
I just think there's some really interesting stories you can tell within that universe if you go down that route. Like Darth Vader as a midnight ballerina.
All I want now is for at some point just to hear the true Darth Vader with the true Darth Vader voice just go, yes, Queen.
I was just in the Mediterranean. I was in Spain and places like that. Went to a place called Seville in...
Ooh, pretty.
Oh boy, trying to find somewhere to get a pizza. It was so difficult because everyone was selling tapas and fish and no one was speaking English. I felt like such a foreigner because no one was speaking English. Like they kind of look at you with this annoyance. Like, oh, you do not speak my language.
Oh, you don't want tapas? You don't want fish? No, I don't. I want pizza.
We finally found this one establishment that had a pizza icon outside their place. Like you. And they were amazing and they spoke English and they helped.
Was it good? Was it good pizza?
It was really good, but even better was the dessert. It was like this dough ball. It's like not quite a donut, but not quite a bread. And it was fried. And then you dip it in this Nutella chocolate in the middle. And oh, nom, 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 nom.
PlayStation, Spammals, PlayStation.
Mentioning PlayStation, I've heard that The Last of Us Part 2 HBO series has already lost 50% of its viewing audience.
Yep, the writing's terrible this season. It still
I'm
had
only
some
three
really
ep-
strong
I'm only-
episodes, but the
I'm only
casting of
3 episodes
Abby,
in.
the casting of Abby really jarred for me. And the writing wasn't as strong. But I'd like to know your thoughts once you finished it, Div.
But I know the game pissed everybody off because they killed that one person. And then
That one person.
Spoiler free for those watching the show, I guess. But
No, sorry, the game has been out for like a decade.
okay,
Shut
they
up.
killed Joel. Okay, I know his bloody name.
Didn't he win Celebrity Big Brother?
There's a lot of
Right,
people
okay.
watching it who haven't played the game and probably wouldn't because it's not the kind of game they play.
No, but the point being is they had early warning of, hey, the story that we put out in the game had some really bad backlash. Let's maybe not repeat history here. But they did, and it's going the same direction by the sounds of it.
Well, here's the thing. They had the same backlash when they killed off Ned Stark, so...
That was in season 1 of Game of Thrones, episode 4.
Yes, and everyone went fucking nuts saying, how could you do this? We're never going to watch it. And it's
Same with the Red Wedding.
Sean Bean! Everyone's waiting for the man to die.
You've clearly never watched National Treasure, have you? He doesn't die in that.
And weirdly enough, he survives Silent Hill.
Spoiler, sorry for National Treasure.
And from what I've heard, they're breaking up the second game into like 2 or 3 different seasons,
I'd heard that as well.
which sounds very drawn out to me.
Sounds like The Hobbit.
Someone in my chat just says, I can't believe they sank the Titanic in movie 1. They've killed any future sequels in the franchise out of the gate.
No. There's the Titanic 2. They built another one,
There is Titanic 2, you're right.
and then a freaking
there
tsunami
what?
hits it.
Is there actually a Titanic 2?
It's not an official
Yes.
sequel, but there is a Titanic 2 movie.
I mean,
Amazing.
How do you have an official Titanic movie? Just like, well, I just bought the rights to a world event, and therefore this is the official Titanic movie.
Well, there kind of is a sequel to Titanic. James Cameron did Ghosts of the Abyss, which is a fantastic movie/documentary where it mixes the wreck footage with actors on stages to make them appear to be walking on the wreck.
Spammals.
Hi, sorry. Hi.
Why are there 7 half-eaten pineapples downstairs?
I have to go goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bedtime. Good night, Spammals.
7 half-eaten pineapples.
There's not even Randy to like blame here.
I don't like the bottom bit. I like the top bit.
Yeah, but what about pineapples? Hey!
Oh. Oh. Shame
God's
names watched
father.
off.
That's what we call innuendo closure, ladies and gentlemen.
So earlier this
Bye.
week, Joe and I watched an outstanding documentary on the Titan submarine
did.
disaster. Us on the iPlayer, and I think Discovery are also airing it. It's incredible. In the past, there's been programs made that's kind of put like press footage together, but this is different because it has actual Ocean Gate internal video from the testimonies and hearings, and internal data. The amount of red flags they were ignoring were insane.
I really enjoyed that. I thought it gave some... It didn't necessarily shed... It gave us new information. It didn't shed new light, if that makes sense. Like, there was nothing in it that we were like, oh my God, I didn't know that. But the insight that it gave into what we did know and what we knew before that documentary was made was really fascinating. Just the detail that it went into with the history of Ocean Gate and the Titan submersible and Stockton Rush and just the sheer ego that was involved. Which I don't think anyone doubted, but it was really interesting to get that level of detail and insight.
Every scientist ignored every safety warning.
It's insane. If you get a chance to watch it, I highly recommend it. It's only an hour long as well.
It laid everything on the table as crystal clear as possible so that there's no doubt or counter-suggestion. To get this, so they built the first Titan sub and they go to the Bahamas where my friend Sean Connery lives from Chaos Galleon episode 4. And
Spammals, I remember you well.
I'm just here for this Titan submarine, Sean, yes. But it's wild, so they're doing the test dives, and they do like 40 dives, but only 3 of them go at depth. On like the 3rd one, the hull delaminates. That's where the carbon fiber just breaks, meaning that the pressure hull is no longer safe. They build another one, but no real meaningful changes. They just refine the process. All the testing they did from like the beginning up until that point, in theory, they should go retest, but they just carried on as assuming all the previous data was okay.
It was that clip at the start of him standing up at that conference and being like, and carbon fiber is the ideal material to be doing deep sea exploration. It's not.
It's
no
really
one in the
not.
history of ever has ever said this, but he says it with his full chest.
He was a snake oil salesman through and through.
100%.
And so you skip to the out at sea and they're sending people down. The front fell off.
Some of them are built so the front doesn't fall off at all.
Well, wasn't this built so the front wouldn't fall off?
Well, obviously not.
How do you know?
Well, because the front fell off.
On like the 1st or 2nd dive, and they got like the first passengers, mission experts on board. They surface it and the front falls off. There's only 4 bolts holding the front on.
Yeah, they were like, oh, it should be 16. We're just doing 4.
Because when you get deep enough, it holds itself on.
It'll just hold itself together. I don't think that's how it works.
It's a saving grace because with the current trends, to be fair, you would have had Katy Perry dive into the Titanic.
Oh, God.
The sea demands more billionaires.
Fast forward to mission 80, and then once again, the hull delaminates like the first one did. So on the hull, there was like these microphones, like really sensitive ones that record every sound possible. And they show you the data chart for it. There's like these little bumps, and then there's a massive BAM! And this thing is like going to the moon and back. It's so big. Like it should be this crowning moment of stop everything and check that hull. But the guy was like, well, we'll do one more dive and then we'll check it after that one and blah.
Every time you said delamination, Spammals, there's a small part of me that was really satisfied because I imagined like a reverse laminator machine. And laminator machines are like fucking satisfying things to use.
So if you can imagine the carbon fiber, it's all smushed together, right? It's all those fibers. So imagine like a bubble just popping open, spreading out all of that carbon fiber.
Oh, God.
But in all the pressures that it's under, it's now buckling under itself and starting to mush inside of itself.
Gotcha.
That's delamination.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought the thing looked like it had been 3D printed anyway, so...
Like the guy at the beginning is like, and he went for this like toilet tube shape. You mean a cylinder?
He didn't do maths at school. He didn't do shapes.
You use your words. But again, like there is a reason that deep sea exploration is not done in cylinders. It is not the ideal shape for it. They tend to be spherical or have long drop points to sort of help them. Like, if I remember correctly, the one that James Cameron uses is like this weird elongated thing with a sphere that he sits in.
Typically, they are spheres, indeed, because you don't want any edges.
The pressure's equal all the way round.
Exactly. So it can't come to a focus anywhere.
Nah, toilet tube, ship it. Lock him in and use a PlayStation controller.
I like the idea. I like the idea the guy was sat maybe on the loo and ran out of toilet roll and just looked at that cardboard tube and went, "Ooh, that could work."
Welcome to the stream, Dr. Joe and Dr. Spammals Ballard. They are
I've met Dr. Robert Ballard. I got his autograph in his book.
So, I have also met him, but I didn't get his autograph. He came to Southampton Guildhall and did a lecture.
What about?
Did you try and do a game of?
What do you think it was about? He was there to talk about his favourite value item on the McDonald's pound menu. That's what he was there for.
Get there. So, when they found the wreckage of the Titan and it's all kind of smushed and compressed into itself. So the Coast Guard bring it on board the recovery ship and they have to go through it, kind of peeling everything apart to see what's like electrical, what's carbon fiber, what's human. And against the odds, 2 business cards and 2 stickers from Stockton's sleeve survived, like more or less intact. And it's like, how the frick?
It's really eerie.
It's super eerie because there's literally 5 people and the entire content of the sub smushed into this one salad bowl at the back. Nothing is recognizable. It's a grey mass. There was this one ROV lady. She was there when the second delamination happened, and she went to like the head, the people in charge, expressing concern, and their response is, "Yeah, we're also concerned about you. You haven't got the explorer's mindset."
That's got to be on your Tinder profile, isn't it? ROV lady, come get some.
She was brilliant, though, wasn't she?
There's a
So they
suit right in
basically
front of
turned
us.
around and were like, "We've got concerns about you. You don't have an explorer's mindset. Please take your concerns to Stockton Rush."
Yes. It was just very shocking because you might imagine in your head, like, maybe they was ignoring kind of light little warnings. Maybe there's some way to rationalize why they would take such risks. But when you see how blatantly they were just ignoring anything in the name of explorer's mindset, it's just shocking.
He was determined to make a name for himself within this field and did not care what corners he cut or who was at risk or who got hurt. And I think they touched upon it in the documentary that he was playing Russian roulette. It wasn't a time of if it breaks, it was when it breaks.
It was when. Absolutely, it was when.
And it was a gamble of if he would be in it or not. But charging people 250 grand to bankroll it as well implies that they were cutting corners and possibly really not making the money that they needed for the exploration that they wanted to do or to fund it properly. They didn't register as a passenger vessel because that needs different insurance and people will keep an eye on it that way. So it was all sliding under the radar because they got people to pay as if they were passengers but then signed them on as operators. Really just shady.
They had this documentary guy, visit them to go do a documentary about Ocean Gate and Titan, and he goes on board for a test dive, and he describes it as non-functional, and he goes back to his boss. He's like, "We can't do this documentary. We're going to get someone killed," and they cancel the documentary.
They bolt him in and send him down, and stuff's just going wrong all over the place, and Stockton Rush is like, yeah, we're just going to go back to the surface. This is fine. And you can see the moment, you can see the light and the hope leave this guy's eyes as they bolt him into this tin can, and things start breaking.
So there is a Netflix documentary due out very soon. We're going to do a watch party for that, and I'm really excited for that. And we've got the hearing results with the final conclusions due out later this year. Well, that was Chaos Galleon episode 6.
Hey!
Completion
pals.
noises.
Completion noises.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Cheers, guys.
Have a good night. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Goodbye.
Good night.